Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Steve again, Harmless Rebel. Decided to do a quick metal video. I'm actually doing a custom stereo install in my truck and doing some video of that. I if you looked at my last room tour, I got a whole wall of CDs, and I love listening to CDs in the car. So, doing a really nice, I guess you'd call it an audiophile system. I like the truck to sound as good as the room here. So, but I'll share that. Let you guys show you guys what all I'm doing and the before and after and all that good stuff. But been listening to a lot of metal this week, so this is pretty much all metal. There's two in here that kind of on that metal hard rock border, and you'll see when we get to them. But this first one, I just got done listening to again. So this is not a new album. I tried to find my original copy of the CD. I'm not. It's shoved into one of these. It's in one of these piles here, and I just couldn't find it. But this is the second album from Madrost. So if you're not familiar with Madrost, Madrost is a technical thrash band out of, I believe they're out of L.A. So I first got turned on to this band from Scott Waters. He got a copy of their third album and was blown away by it. And he got a hold of me and he's like, "You've got to get this album." At that point, all of their stuff had been pressed by them, if I remember correctly. A couple of the CDs or CDRs. So maybe a year or two later, when they decided to do their fourth album, Scott got together with them and released that album for them. And since he has gone back and re-released the first two albums as well on CD and... Actually, let me find the CD for this one. Do I have it right on top somewhere? See, I just had it too. And now, there it is. So these got the remaster treatment. This particular one got new artwork. The original artwork was terrible. That's why I wanted to pull it out and show you. I'm not sure if Scott did I don't think he did the cover on this one. And I don't see on the back who did it. But actually, I think it's the guy that did their other albums. But fantastic artwork. So this has always been my least favorite of their albums. I didn't like the way the CD sounded. It's never been one I listened to. So I pre-ordered it when it came out. Scott promised me that it sounded much better. I'm blown away by how good this sounds. It's basically a whole new album. Rob Caldwell, I got to give a huge shout out for this one. This is some of his best work. This album sounds amazing. Like I said, this was not a favorite of mine, and now it's tied up there with their first album. Which is my favorite of their albums. This is right up there with it. It just came out so good. But this is Into the Aquatic Sector. Again, Madrost. I think it's how Tanner actually pronounces it. I think they only did 100 of these on vinyl and a few hundred on CD. And if I don't know if they did all 100 get this sticker or if it was just a pre-order, but man, it sounds fantastic. Highly recommend grabbing this if you're into thrash, if you're into Coroner, if you're into Vector. You're gonna love these guys. Just like I said, really good technical thrash. And then, like I said, I also got the I don't usually get the CD and the LP. I usually just get the LP. However, this one, if you bought the CD, it comes with a second disc, which is Live Aquatic 2016. So I haven't spun that yet. And actually, Scott was just telling me how good that sounds too. We were messaging a little bit ago. So Live Aquatic again with the new artwork. Fantastic job on this one. Next up, these next two are also released on No Life Till Metal. I didn't plan it that way. They were just, I was going through, listening to what I wanted to listen to. These were all next to each other, so I spun them all. a few times. So next up, we've got Thrash and Demolished from Vindicator. Texas Thrash, I believe they're from Texas. I don't know what year this was from. I want to say it was 90s, but I could be wrong. Actually, let's look it up real quick. Let's see if it's if it says. All right, so their first album. Oh no, it's 2000s. So I was way wrong. Does it say the dates on here? I wonder. So 2006. I thought it was late 90s, but it looks like this was originally released as the South Amherst Thrash demo and rehearsal demo. It was a CDR that was released in 2006. It was their first release. Their first album, which is probably their most popular, There Will Be Blood, didn't come out till 2008. So I was way off on that one. So basically, the first 4 songs are where it's at here. This is the very first release. It's their first demo. They just had a new album come out. I'm really looking forward to getting that. I don't remember what happened with that. I thought I had the CD ordered. I'm going to have to research that. But just, again, really killer Texas Thrash. This is super raw. But like I said, the first 4 songs are fantastic. The rest of it's a live demo it sounds like it was recorded on a tape, maybe a 4-track. So it doesn't sound great. It's still kind of cool to check out. But definitely worth it for those first few songs. And then Carcass John did some killer artwork for this one. If you're not familiar with Carcass John, check out the Metal Roundtable that Scott Waters is also on with Rob Caldwell, the one who did the remastering on all of these albums. And then the last one, I believe this is another Texas band, and I don't know what year this one was either. I don't want to say now. This was a one and done band. Let's see, 2 demos and the LP, 1989. See, I had to guess this one was early 90s as well. Really killer thrash. Yeah, let's see, American thrash metal band from Arlington, Texas, formed in 1986. So they had a demo in 87. Their debut album, Victims, is their only album in 1989, and then the 91 demo as well. This is really killer thrash. Highly recommend picking this one up. I believe this one was real limited too. Let's see if it says how many Scott pressed. I think it was 100 again. It doesn't say in here. I'll put links down below. A link down below to No Life Till Metal where you can get these though. I'm going to be doing another 10 perfect thrash albums. That first album is probably still on a monthly basis, and I did it years ago, is one of the most viewed I ever did, and one of the most commented on. So I'm going to do another one, and don't be surprised if you see this on there, because this is a perfect album. If you're into thrash, it's a must-have. Next up, a little bit more thrash from another member of the VC, brother Jürgen, from Germany. This is his band, or was his band. I believe he said he's no longer in the band, but he was a singer on this album. This is Repent, Condemned to Fail. I love this album. Every time I pull it out, I spin it 2 or 3 times. Love the artwork on this one as well. They've got 4 or 5 albums. If I remember correctly, Jürgen was only on this one and the one before this. This was just a few years ago, 2019, when this one came out. I still need to get the one before this, but again, really killer German thrash. Another one recommend picking up. This one's High Roller. And that one still pops up from time to time. Next up, just some old school, early death metal. I want to say this was 80. No, this was, is it right? 90? I thought this was 88 or 89. Maybe it was. This is Cancer. So I'm not a huge fan of Cancer. They're still around. I I don't know if they're how many original members are in the band. I've heard a couple of their later albums, and they just didn't do much for me. I really liked their debut though, and this is the only one I really ever go back to. This was one of the Gimme Metal. This was actually the last Gimme Metal release before I canceled my membership. Gimme Metal, it's a pretty cool monthly metal club. The problem is their last few releases have not been special releases. So Peaceville released this last year or the year before, the same exact color. The only difference between this and the Peaceville is Peaceville did an updated artwork on it, whereas this has the original artwork. And the Peaceville copy is $10 less than this. So the same exact color, vinyl, everything. And the whole deal with Gimme Metal, they'll do one album that I really like, and then like 4 or 5 that I cancel. That I just don't want. They're doing a lot of black metal, a lot of more modern death metal that does nothing for me. And the bad thing is, every once in a while I'll forget to cancel in time. So I've got like 2 albums that I didn't want in the first place. They're not really popular albums, so I can't even sell them to get my money back. So I ended up canceling. If you're more into black metal and a lot of the newer metal, yeah, maybe it's worth it for you. For me, it just wasn't. They would do some good ones. They would do SOD. There were quite a few albums I really got into. Blood Incantation. But yeah, as a whole, just not for me. So Behind Enemy Lines, I've talked about this album before. I'm not going to go into it too much. George Ochoa, if I remember correctly, on vocals. Just a fantastic 80s metal album. 1990 again. But Rock's repressed this as part of the limited run. The original pressing that he did 5 or 6 years ago, it may have been longer than that. It may have been 7 or 8 years ago. Was remastered by Ysidro, who did a pretty good job. Rob Caldwell redid this one and really cleaned it up. Sounds really, really good. And because I already had it, I didn't buy it when it was reissued or when this came out. I ended up waiting until there was a sale and grabbed it. And I'm glad I did. I wasn't going to grab it because I already was happy with the copy I had. This one does sound quite a bit better. Next up, Kitty. I was really happy when this came out. I hope we get their second album. This was probably from last record store day. This is one of the few albums that really shot up in value other than like the Taylor Swift. These are already going for $80-$90. So I'm really glad that I got one. I don't know how many of these they did. I think it was only like 1,500 or 2,000. This is one that everybody's wanted for a long time. They hadn't really found their sound yet. So you hear a lot of traditional metal in here. You hear a little bit of new metal in here. Like I said, they're just kind of experimenting. Like I said, I really want their second album, but I was really happy to get this. I spun it 2 or 3 times. It really was a throwback to when this came out. This is one that I bought right when it came out, and I've always loved that album. These next 2 have been on my want list for about 100 years. Last time was it last time? The time before last, when I was in Phoenix, when I met up with Scott Waters and Trog, we went out digging and we found a copy of this. It was beat, an original pressing, and it was like $75. That's the second album, not even the first one. I have never seen a real pressing of the first one. I've only seen bootlegs, and the bootlegs, I still see the bootlegs selling for $40 to $50, which kills me. Because now you can get the first official pressings since the 70s. So I was really excited. As soon as these went up, I was checking the No Remorse website every day until they finally gave the date and ordered these. I thought about buying the box sets. They just didn't have anything special. If it had additional material that wasn't on the albums, I would have done it. They just didn't. It was like the album plus the CD plus the cassette type of deal, and that's just not what I was looking for. So we're talking about Quiet Riot. I had never even heard this album. No Remorse did a fantastic job on it. What really shocked me about this, you know, obviously it's got Randy Rhoads. This is the album that gave us Randy Rhoads. What really shocked me about this is I've always heard it called heavy metal and hard rock, and it's definitely hard rock. It's straight up glam. There is so much glam in this, which I love. You know, I love Bowie. You can definitely hear some Bowie influences. You can definitely hear some. What's the other band I'm trying to think of? It's going to drive me nuts. Anyway, very early glam, glam hard rock, glam metal. Fantastic album. I wish they would have done this one on a double LP. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 15 songs on a single LP. I would have liked to see a double LP of this one. These were previously only released in Japan, and they were pretty limited. And like I said, the prices are in the hundreds of dollars in good condition, and they have been even before the vinyl resurgence. I haven't even looked since the vinyl resurgence, but they were hundreds of dollars before. You know, they've always been high on the collector's list. Fantastic. And then, of course, the one that this is one I see every couple years in a shop. It's always way overpriced, and it's always in horrible condition. But this is Quiet Riot 2. This one, more hard rock, less glam. Still a lot of glam, though. It sounds so good. And you can actually see in this one, you can really see the glam with their outfits. Just fantastic. Highly recommend grabbing these. I think they're doing 100 or 200 each on the colored vinyl. This one's on blue vinyl. The other one is on red. And then like 300 on black vinyl. They're not crazily priced. The only thing that sucks is the shipping. And unfortunately, one of them was creased. Yeah, Quiet Riot 2 has a slight crease on it. If you can see it right there. Not too bad, though. No Remorse has always done me right, so I didn't make a big deal about it. I thought about emailing them, but overall, I'm still really happy. They packed the crap out of it. You know, it's just one of those things that happens. But grab these while you can. Fantastic. And speaking of bootlegs, I'm seeing a lot of the Typo Negative, Born Dead bootlegs popping up. Stay away from those. Typo announced that that's getting repressed this year, or it's getting released this year. It's already being repressed. It's getting a double LP, a CD, and a cassette release. That was the only album of theirs that wasn't part of the box set that hasn't been reissued. And they announced that back in March or April, and they just posted again not too long ago to stay away from the bootlegs. So just throwing that out there. Next up, one of my all-time favorite singers. Man, it doesn't get much better than James Rivera. One of the best metal singers. Again, a lot of Texas stuff here today. I believe these guys are San Antonio. I know they're from Texas. I think they're from the San Antonio area. But Hellstar, man, it's such an amazing album. I've never had this one on vinyl. I've ran across this really nice original pressing for cheap. Pretty much near mint. Unfortunately, I think it had a seam split or something. Yeah, ended up arriving with a seam split, which pissed me off because I told the guy to ship it outside of the vinyl or outside of the jacket. He shipped it inside of it, and it split. He gave me a good price, so I didn't say anything about it. Otherwise, it's pretty much in mint condition. Love Hellstar. I've only got like 3 of their albums on vinyl. I would love to get all their stuff on vinyl. It's just so hard to find in good condition and for a good price. Next up, I believe this was another one and done band. Actually, I know it was another one and done band. Their claim to fame. What soundtrack was it? I can't even remember what soundtrack it was, but they were on one of the metal soundtracks. Dead On. They're called a thrash band. Some of their albums some of this album is thrash. About half of it's just straight up metal, more in the vein of like Metal Church, like U.S. power metal style. Really good debut album, though. I really wish these guys would have stuck around. I would like to have see another album from them. But Different Breed was a song that they had. Oh, it's going to drive me nuts. What soundtrack that was on? Was it the Shocker soundtrack, maybe? Anyway, 1989. Really killer album. You can get this one for really cheap, too. I found this for like $14. This was a promo copy. I wasn't familiar with the band other than that one song, which is a really good song, but the whole A-side on this is fantastic. The whole album is good, but the A-side is really good on this. So again, if you guys haven't checked these guys out, definitely worth the, for under $20. And then last but not least, the final thrash album from this band before they went prog metal. I love the progressive metal stuff they did too, but love this the thrash, especially their debut. Their debut is still a favorite of mine. But To Dust You Will Decay. Unfortunately, the High Roller reissue. I tried to get the No Remorse pressing of this back when it came out. And the copy, or I shouldn't say I tried to get it. The copy I got had little marks and stuff all in it. And it just kind of became a pain. I had the colored vinyl version. They didn't have any more of them. And I mean, they reimbursed me, but I wasn't able to find another nice copy. So I like High Roller. I think the No Remorse version sounded a little bit better than the High Roller version does, but still really happy to have this one. Next, I need to get. All I have is their thrash stuff. I don't have any of their progressive stuff on vinyl. I have that all on CD. So that's it, guys. I kind of rambled on this one. I only showed a few albums and talked for 25 minutes, but I hope everybody's good. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and that's it, VC. Bye.